In today's video, I'm going to be telling you what your favorite MLB team says about you. Every MLB team has different traditions, different types of culture. Every team and every type of fan is pretty different from each other. I'm going to go division by division, starting with the NL Central. Chicago Cubs, you're definitely a passionate fan. Chances are you're either a fan because you have family that loves the Cubs, or you became a fan in 2016, or you just live in Chicago. While you guys are a bit of a laughing stock at times, I think every baseball fan loves Wrigley Field, so I think you guys are in the clear here. And you probably get in arguments with Cardinals fans and Reds fans and White Sox fans from time to time, but that's okay. Milwaukee Brewers. Now, I'm a Reds fan, and I've never had a bad experience with a Brewers fan. You guys have definitely gone through your fair share of heartbreak, but overall, you're pretty chill, decently passionate, and a pretty good fan. St. Louis Cardinals, definitely one of the more popular teams in baseball. Lots of tradition, lots of culture, lots of longtime fans. I mean, me personally, when I think St. Louis, I think baseball. One of the more consistently winning teams in baseball, so there is a small chance that you are a bandwagon. But for the most part, Cardinals fans are pretty good fans overall. When it comes to the Pittsburgh Pirates, you guys have had a lot of talented players, but for the most part, you guys are mostly losing. But losing builds character, and I do believe the Pirates are on the up. As for the Cincinnati Reds, I really have no room to say anything because I am a Reds fan. But yeah, tell me in the comments below, how would you guys rate Reds fans? I'm actually genuinely curious. Maybe you threw hands with a Reds fan. Maybe a Reds fan saved your life in a dying fire. Tell me in the comments below. Moving on to the NL East, we have the Atlanta Braves. Lots and lots of talent, but not really that many World Series rings to show for it. In general, they're one of the more popular teams when you think of the MLB because their fans aren't just in Atlanta. They have a lot of fans just in general. With having a really big fan base, chances are a lot of their fans you don't want to encounter, but for the most part, they are very chill and good baseball fans. Watching a playoff game when the Phillies are playing is an incredible experience because the Philadelphia Phillies are probably one of the most passionate fan bases in baseball. You can always respect a passionate fan, a passionate Philly fan, but some of their division foes probably won't be saying the same, and that's where we dive into the New York Mets. Once again, one of the more popular fan bases in baseball. Even if you don't live in New York, you'll probably run into your fair share of Mets fans, which means you'll probably encounter some tweakers that are just crazy, but for the most part, Mets fans are pretty chill and good fans. Out of all fan bases, though, you'll probably hear the most from Mets fans. For example, Frank the Tank. He's my boy. I love this guy. I love seeing him on Twitter and on TikTok and everything. But a lot of Mets fans are kind of like that. So yeah, just put that in perspective. They have lots of tradition, lots of culture, and lots of rivalry too, with the whole NL East and the Yankees as well. I'm going to be honest here and say that I've never ran into a Marlins fan in real life. Not many people think of them as one of the bigger fan bases, but they seem pretty chill overall. Marlins, man, is definitely a W. And I just quite frankly get the vibe that they're very chill, fun people. But chances are, if you're a new baseball fan, you probably won't be, running into a bunch of Marlins fans out on the streets or anything. You could probably say the same thing for the Washington Nationals. You definitely would encounter more Nationals fans throughout the 2010s, especially during 2019, during their playoff run. I mean, I was rooting for the Nationals definitely during that 2019 playoff run. I was locked in, acting like I've been a fan for years. But once again, I do get the vibe that they're very chill and fun people that know a lot about baseball. Moving on to the NL West, starting with the San Francisco Giants. One of the more historic teams in all of baseball. But like I said for the Nationals, you'd probably encounter more Giants fans during the early 2010s, even in the later 2010s. Not that they're bad right now by any means. They are a pretty good team. but those 2010s Giants were special. Special in the way that a lot of people hated them because they were winning all the time, but they did have a lot of likable players, and they definitely were like at the top for a brief moment. And you definitely hate the next team that I'm about to talk about, that team being the Los Angeles Dodgers. Another like really historic baseball team. When you think like baseball, a lot of times you think of the LA Dodgers. They're always making the big moves in free agency. They're always the contenders. It's just kind of how it works. Being in LA and having that type of success, you definitely have your fair share of bandwagons, but I know a lot of Dodgers fans that are very chill and know a lot about baseball and are good fans in general. That being said, I definitely won't be rooting for them anytime soon because that team is way too stacked. Arizona Diamondbacks. If you're looking for a new favorite baseball team, I might pick the Diamondbacks because this team is on the up and they're a pretty fun team. That being said, they aren't necessarily known for their fans and having a big fan base. But I do get the vibe that they're very chill and know a lot about baseball. They're a fan base that will definitely be growing soon. So yeah, just a little guide to being a new baseball fan. Maybe go with the Diamondbacks. Next, we got the San Diego Padres. Something about their energy and their culture I just like. I don't know what it is. Their team itself isn't really that likable, but their fans, I just like the culture. I just like the energy. Colorado Rockies, one of the nicer stadiums in baseball, and I get the impression that these fans are very chill and know a lot about baseball. Like I said, with teams like the Nationals and teams like the Giants, you'd probably encounter more Rockies fans in like the 2010s and like 2016 and stuff, but right now they're kind of on the down. They're not really winning much. They do have their fair share of legends and great MLB moments. Pretty good fan base overall. Starting off the AL East hot, we got the New York Yankees. Pretty much the most popular baseball team. If you don't watch baseball, you definitely still know who the Yankees are. As far as winning goes, their prime is definitely long gone, but they still are always in it like every year. They're always contenders. You'll never see the Yankees like last place. You'll never see them be a laughingstock. They're kind of like Mets fans in a way. If you have a conversation with them, they'll probably have a lot of baseball hot takes, and they'll probably just have an interesting conversation in general. They do have a lot of fans because they're kind of everywhere. Like, you'll see them on ESPN and on social media, but you won't see the Rockies' daily highlights being posted on the MLB's Instagram, and that's just kind of how it works. They're popular, and their fan base definitely has a lot of character. Next, we got the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, similar to the San Diego Padres, something about their fan base I can just latch onto. A lot of playoff appearances, but not really too much to show for it. And yeah, that builds character. That builds good fan bases. So if you're a Blue Jays fan, you're probably pretty loyal and pretty chill overall. The Boston Red Sox, another one of the most popular MLB teams that you see everywhere. They're kind of on the down right now, haven't really had that much success in the past couple years, but for the most part, they're always contending, and they're one of the better teams. One of the best ballparks in baseball, a historic rivalry, and lots of tradition. But like I said earlier, having a big fan base does mean you will have some bad apples here and there, but overall, they seem very passionate and very chill. The Baltimore Orioles are one of the more likable teams in baseball as of right now. Lots of young talent, and they're definitely on the up. They've had lots of legends in the past too, like Cal Ripken, and just in general, they're pretty historic. Camden Yards, it's on my bucket list. I want to go there someday. I can definitely respect the loyalty too. They went through a lot of losing, and now they're finally on the come up, and they seem just very fun overall. Tampa Bay Rays, not really one of the premier popular teams, kind of similar to the Blue Jays in a way that they've had lots of playoff appearances, but not really too much to show for it. And like I said, that builds character, that builds good fans. Chances are, even if you're walking around in Florida, you probably won't encounter that much Tampa Bay Rays fans. They're new, and Florida, you have a lot of people that move in from other parts of the world, and they become fans of other teams. But I do get the impression that the fans they do have are chill people that know a lot about baseball. I'm going to start the AL Central off with the Cleveland Guardians. Now, most people still call them the Indians, and most people remember them as the Indians because they have a lot of history. They've had some decent runs here and there, but they're not primarily one of the more winning teams in baseball. So their fans are pretty loyal, I'd say. And yeah, just loyal, chill fans. The Detroit Tigers have had a lot of legendary players and a couple good runs here and there, but similar to Cleveland, they're not really one of the more primarily winning teams in baseball. They are very loyal, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them break out in the next couple of years because they have a lot of young talent. I do think they're on the up. So yeah, I'd watch out for the Detroit Tigers if I were you. The Detroit Tigers, pretty loyal fans. Chances are, if you are a Tigers fan, your favorite player is Miguel Cabrera too. The Chicago White Sox definitely have a lot of history to them. One of the oldest teams in baseball, and they do have one of the biggest rivalries as well with the Chicago Cubs. That being said, they really aren't one of the most winning teams in baseball. Chances are, if you're having a conversation with a White Sox fan, they know a lot about baseball and they're chill people. Same thing could be said for the Kansas City Royals. They make some brief runs here and there, like in the mid-2010s and just in general, but I feel like they are on the up. If you're talking to a Kansas City Royals fan, they probably will say Bobby Witt Jr. is a great player, and they'll probably say he's their favorite player. They've had a lot of legendary talented players, but they haven't really had that much winning to complement it. Moving into the AL West, starting with the defending champs, that being the Texas Rangers. Everything is bigger in Texas, so the Rangers do have one of the bigger fan bases, even though a lot of Texas roots for the Houston Astros. The Texas Rangers are a growing fan base, just recently got a new stadium and won the World Series, and have a lot of young talent, and the future looks bright for them. Chill people overall. On the other end of Texas, you have the Houston Astros. One of the more unlikable teams in recent memory, lots of success, and of course a huge cheating scandal. That being said, from a fan perspective, the Astros are pretty likable. Their fans, although they kind of get annoying at times when they're really good, they seem like chill people, fun people that know a lot about baseball. I think a lot of people tend to forget how bad the Astros were for a long time before they got good, so they do have a lot of loyal fans out there. Oakland Athletics. If you're still an Oakland Athletics fan, you are one of the most loyal baseball fans out there. A lot of people that were Athletics fans forever are now no longer A's fans because their team's getting taken away from them, and it's just a sad story in general. But if you're still an Oakland Athletics fan, you are very, very loyal, and you are a huge baseball fan, just like the game of baseball, because you stick with them. That being said, their fan base isn't really that big anymore. They do have a lot of history to them, and it's kind of a shame what has happened to them in the past couple of years. But yeah, about as loyal as it gets. Same thing could be said for the Los Angeles Angels. I mean, it's crazy how Mike Trout only has one playoff appearance, and they had Shohei for his prime years, and they didn't make a single playoff appearance. Chances are you're a fan because you like Shohei or you like Mike Trout, but the thing is, I can latch onto this fan base too. They seem like very fun people, I'd say. You might also be an international fan too, because a lot of their fans came from Japan. Then last but not least, we got the Seattle Mariners. Another team that has had some historically good talent, but not much playoff success to show for it. Mariners fans seem like people who know a lot about baseball, and they seem like very fun people with good energy to them. And yeah, I just mapped out every MLB fan base in like 14 minutes. Boom. Comment down below. Who is your favorite MLB team, and did I do you dirty? I feel like I was pretty nice in this video. I did not roast like a single team. Because in reality, every fan base has bad apples. But overall, for the most part, it's just a great group of people.